Stick around as we spin a tale of home improvement, supply chains, and spaghettini. It's al dente architecture, where buildings are made of pasta. Architecture is usually a matter of hard science, steel, concrete, and things that don't go well with marinara. But advances in construction and materials science could make manicotti and cannelloni tower into the skies. As long as workers grab a bite from their lunch pails and not the girders, the uncooked version might be made to handle the strain. But if we swapped our I-beams for Linguine beams, the first thing we'd have to worry about isn't gravity, it's humidity. Uncooked pasta has a surprisingly high compressive strength, but it's brittle. One stuck door in that rental cabin by the lake becomes a very large pile of gluten.
Mac and cheese for dinner. Same thing happened last year.
And then there's the boil factor. On a particularly rainy day, your office building wouldn't collapse. It would just relax into a comfortable puddle.
Breaking news as heavy rains bring down multiple buildings in the area, including this vacant Pappardelle parking garage on Morrison Avenue. Story at 11 on 9 News.
We'd have to rethink fire safety. A building fire wouldn't be a disaster, it would be dinner. Though the smell of toasted wheat might be a nice change from office carpet. Engineers would argue over al dente versus overcooked load-bearing capacities. A firm foundation takes on a whole new meaning. We might see a rise in pesto-based sealants. If you can't beat the humidity, flavor it. The origin story of pasta architecture would be hotly debated, but the prevailing theory would actually arise from fire and ice with a pasta variety called bastoni del nonno, or grandpa's walking sticks. In the forgotten, cloud-shrouded village of Borgo di Spiga, nestled deep in the Dolomite Mountains, lived an eccentric pasta maker named Zio Elio. Elio was known for his unconventional ideas, but his greatest invention was born out of a crisis. The winter of 1888 was the coldest on record. The village was snowed in, and the supply of firewood had dwindled to nothing. People were freezing. In a fit of desperate inspiration, Zio Elio looked at his overflowing sacks of semolina flour and thought, if I can't warm them with fire, I'll warm them with food that looks like fire. He began to mix an incredibly dense dough, rolling it not into delicate strands, but into thick, sturdy rods, each one as long as a man's arm and as thick as a thumb. He called them bastoni del nonno, because they looked just like the rough-hewn walking sticks the village elders used. He dried them until they were as hard as oak. The idea was that these pasta logs could be stored like kindling and, in an emergency, even burned. But when Nonno Ada, the village matriarch, saw Elio about to throw a bundle into the hearth, she scolded him for wasting good food. She tossed them into a cauldron of boiling water instead. They took an hour to cook, but the result was a revelation. A pasta with an incredible hearty chew that could stand up to the richest, meatiest ragu. The firewood pasta saved the village, not by burning, but by providing a meal so satisfying it warmed them from the inside out. Eventually, Zio Elio's legendary bastoni came to actually be used as the semolina construction logs we'd know today. Today, Zio's great-great-grandson still crafts bastoni the original way, and his great-great-great-grandson carries on the tradition, delivering bundles of firewood pasta to businesses and families in Milan. And what about the wildlife? Pigeons wouldn't nest in the eaves, they'd eat them. Urban planning would essentially become a giant bird feeder management system. And the food supply chain for people would look slightly different too.
lasagna again, go to the lumber yard.
Be careful. Those things stick sometimes. Almost there. Gotta get this in. Here you are. Enjoy your meal.
This is so laid back.
So, while the world of pastatecture sounds delicious, it's probably best we stick to steel. Unless, of course, you enjoy living in a carbonara-based economy. Stay crunchy, friends.